Alright, Happy New Year everyone. So today we're gonna do another unboxing video, and it's gonna be this bad boy right here. But before we even go there, I just want to take a moment to thank you guys for an amazing 2021. So we were able to hit 1,000 subscribers. Thanks to you, thanks to all of your support. Thank you for watching our video, sharing our content, sending us some love on the comment section. It really helped our channel a lot, and I hope you will still join us as we usher in the new year. So this year we're gonna see a lot more unboxing videos, a lot more custom figures, and we're even gonna open our doors to even more toy lines. We're gonna be featuring some Sailor Moon, we're gonna be featuring some Ultraman, we're gonna be featuring some mecha robots, Chogokins and whatnot. So it's gonna be an exciting year for us, so do stay tuned for all of those. And then we also have a lot of custom figures lined up, so stay tuned for that one. And finally, so we have also opened up the hobbyist shop. So if you check out our Facebook page, we have some collectibles that are being sold there for amazing prices. So do check out our Facebook page to learn more, and you can send us some PM if you want to order some of our stuff. So anyway, so this is the bootleg. Without further ado, this is the Bootleg King Ghidorah special color version. So this is based on the SH Monsterarts King Ghidorah special color version, which was released back in 2016. So the box is fairly similar to what the original is, except most of the branding and trademark information are removed from the box. So this is what the box looks like. So on the front of the box, you'll see the figure with a black background. On the top of the box, it also says King Ghidorah special color version. On the side is a black and white picture of King Ghidorah. And then this is basically just a continuation of what's in front. And then at the back, we'll see King Ghidorah, the figure, and some of the accessories that come with the figure. So it has a flight stand, it has a Tamashi base or Tamashi stand for the gravity beams of King Ghidorah. The gravity beams of King Ghidorah comes in 3 colors. So there's yellow, there's orange, and then there's blue. And then there's this time travel spaceship of the Futurans, which was featured on the movie. It's called Kitsu in Japanese, but it's spelled out as kids in English. So yeah, so this is what the box looks like. Again, most of the trademark information, most of the if not all of the branding information are removed from the box. So let's go ahead and open up this figure. Okay, so out of the box, this is what we have. So we have the figure. So King Ghidorah is a bit big. So King Ghidorah stands at around 8.5 inches, if I'm not mistaken. And then it comes with 3 gravity beams. So my only gripe is from the SH Monsterarts, we have a gold or yellow beam. We also have a blue and an orange. Here we have 2 oranges and 1 blue. Small detail, but that's okay. So it still comes with 3 gravity beams. It also comes with the time machine spaceship called Kitsu, similar to what SH Monsterarts figure has. It also comes with a flight stand, which is a pain to assemble. It actually doesn't fit. If you see this part right here, it doesn't go all the way down. So, and it can be removed quite easily. So I'm probably not gonna use this stand for any flight pose or whatnot. And then it also has the Tamashi action base stand or action stand, which kind of holds the gravity beams and lines it up on King Ghidorah's mouth. It also doubles up as a stand for this very small spaceship right here. So, yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna be looking at the figures, sculpt and paint application, and then later on we are going to look at the figures articulation. But yeah, just to get this out of the way, I removed the other wing because it keeps on falling off. More on that when we go to the articulation later. Now, in terms of sculpt, I like how they sculpted the faces on King Ghidorah. It's done pretty well. The folds on the face are really nice, and I also like how they sculpted the teeth and the mouth area. It's sculpted really well. My only issue here is how they sculpted the horns on King Ghidorah's head. There is supposed to be like a uniform motion on how these horns grow, or uniform direction, sorry, on how these horns grow. Like they're supposed to point from here going upward. And unfortunately for some of the horns, it doesn't look that way. So like this one, it's pointing down, it's supposed to point up. So anyway, small detail again, but something that you can notice. And some of these are also pointing inward instead of pointing outward. So when it all comes together, you can really notice those small details. Anyway, but other than that, the sculpt on the head is really nice. Now, the wings, which again keeps on falling off, is also really nice. They sculpted the wings, even the webbing on the wings are really well made. And as you can see, it kept on falling off, but it's able to withstand those pretty shallow falls. Of course, if you're displaying this, some word of caution, it might fall off and destroy or damage those tips, so do be careful. The tips, by the way, are a bit sharp, so are the horns and the spines on King Ghidorah. So do take note if you are gonna gift this to a kid. Next is the tail. So the tail, I like how they sculpted the tail. So a lot of the details are consistent with the movie. It's kind of like reminiscent of that rattlesnake tail. It's really well made. Although it does pop off quite easily. So later on the articulation, we're gonna show you a lot more about those details. Now, in terms of paint application, the base color is really nice. So again, so this special color version was originally created to as an homage to the poster from that movie, Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. So they made the color quite consistent on how it looks like from the poster. So yeah, in terms of the color application, the gold color that they used for this, it's really good. So it's consistent with how it was on the poster of that movie. Now, some small details that I found that are a bit, concerning, well, not concerning, but it's a bit inconsistent, is how they did the eyes. So they basically just put a line in there. It doesn't look like the proper eye color. And then, but other than that, the horns are also painted. There's some gradient going on the horns, which is really nice. It plays with the light really well. The paint application on the mouth, also really well. It's acceptable. It's not the best paint application, but it's acceptable for what it is. Now, the tongue, a bit too toyish for my taste, to be honest. if you look at, well, since it's on a ball joint, I'll just turn it sideways like this. Yeah, so there's no gradient going on the tongue and on the roof and on the gums. So there's no weathering and whatnot. It's just red. So that's one opportunity to, you know, to customize it, to repaint it if you guys want. So yeah, so that's it for the paint application and the sculpt. So next we're gonna go ahead and look at the articulation on this figure. In terms of articulation, the whole figure is connected by ball joints. So there's a ball joint on the lower jaw. Then there's also a ball joint connected on the tongue, believe it or not. And then all of these are ball joints. So the joints on the neck are ball joints. So you can just imagine how dynamic the poses will be on this figure. And then there is a ball joint on the chest area as well to allow more range of motion. And then there's a hinge. Oh no, I think this is a ball joint as well. There's another ball joint on the hips, and then another ball joint on the knee, and then there's another ball joint connecting to that part on the shin, and then another ball joint on the ankles of the foot. The tail also has a couple of ball joints. So there's a ball joint here, and then where the tail splits, there's ball joints all the way up to the end of the tail. So all of these are ball joints. Now, going to the wings. So the wings are connected by a hinge, swivel hinge combo, as you can see here. So you could move it up and down, and then you could also move it side to side a little bit. Now the only problem is the joints and the socket on the wings. So the socket on the wings are a bit big. So problem is if you plug the wings in, chances are it's just gonna fall off out of the weight of this wing. So it falls off pretty easy. So what you can do is a quick fix. You could probably apply some nail polish probably to tighten this joint, this socket before you plug it in. You could also glue it all together, or you could put something or like a small piece of clay or whatnot just to hold this thing in place if you plan to remove it ever so often. But anyway, so it's a quick fix. It's something that you guys can, customize. Although of course, if you're gonna gift this to a kid and this happens, then it's basically junk. So that's a bummer. We have to fix that. Anyway, so that's the articulation, paint application, and the sculpt on this figure. Okay, so now let's look at the accessories that come with the figure. So again, as I mentioned earlier, it comes with 3 gravity beams. And then it also comes with a Tamashi stand to hold these gravity beams in place. The only problem is it doesn't come with peg holes. So the Tamashi stand that they've implemented for the gravity beams are held using these small arms. So what you're gonna do now is you have to balance the gravity beam against King Ghidorah using those small arms. And I think this is consistent with how it was with the original SH Monsterarts version. It's not really the fault of the bootleg. So they copied that bad design from SH Monsterarts as well. Anyway, so that's how it does it. So you're just gonna line it up on King Ghidorah's mouth, and then you're gonna put the gravity beam on top of those small arms. And basically that's what it's gonna look like. It makes the gravity beam smaller since you don't have to design a thick part for the peg hole. But the downside is you have to balance it on King Ghidorah's mouth. So if you move, if say you're gonna put 3 of them, you can just imagine how hard it could be to put 3, to balance 3 beams. So this is like the second one, and I hope it doesn't fall off. Well, yeah, it doesn't. And then you're gonna do the same thing on the third one. Anyway, so that's what it looks like. It also comes with this small spacecraft called Kitsu in Japanese, but it's spelled out as kids in English. So this is what the Futurians used for time travel. Now, on the SH Monsterarts figure, the cockpit and the wings are a little bit of a white color. Here, the cockpit's colored black, while the wings are colored gray. So, yeah. And then notice that on the underside of the Kitsu, there is this small peg hole, and that's because you could actually connect it to the action base or to the action stand. So to do that, what you need to do is you just need to remove the small arm and stick the spacecraft there instead. So now you have that very dynamic stand for that small spacecraft. Okay, so this is how King Ghidorah stacked up against the other figures that you might have in your collection. So on my left is the SH Monsterarts Godzilla 1989, while on my right is our custom NECA Godzilla 1991. So we made this Godzilla specifically for this King Ghidorah. But as you can see, since this figure was actually sculpted originally to cater to SH Monsterarts figures, as you can see, it scales better to the SH Monsterarts Godzillas, which are around the 6.25 inch in scale. Now, if you might be wondering how I was able to attach the wings without them falling off, what I did was I cut a tiny piece of electrical tape and I sticked it on the back of not the figure, but the joint itself before I attached it. It's still gonna fall off after some point, but if you want like a more permanent fix, you could either glue it all together, or you could put some nail polish on the joint to make it a bit thicker, so that the joint, the wings, will hold its own weight. Anyway, final thoughts about the figure. Again, so this is still a bootleg figure, so you would expect that there are a lot of hits and misses on the designs, on how they did the whole product in general, and that's to be expected. And the nice thing about this is that it still makes for a very cool base. So if you want like a Heisei King Ghidorah, if you don't have one in your collection, if you want one that has a ton of articulation and a good base, if you're doing customization, then look no further, get one of these. What we're gonna do is we are going to put the link on the Shopee store where we got this figure. Hopefully it's still available when we upload the video. But yeah, so I guess that's it for me, folks. So again, we are going to resume our usual shout outs. So if you want to be included on the next list of shout outs, do comment down below, send us some love, And so yeah, I guess that's it for me, folks. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. Please give this video a thumbs up. And yeah, I will see you guys soon. Peace.